or vaccine was created. The illness simply vanished. In 1930, there were barely any new cases, but those already infected stayed frozen for years. One patient who became sick at 11 years old stayed frozen for 70 years.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine you get home and your dog, you said, bye, I'm going to work, bye. Your dog, you get back, your dog is stuck like this for 70 years. Your dog living longer than you. You like, Louie, what's going on, Louie? You not gonna move? Louie.
No one knows where Ron went, but an hour later, the town received bad news. Ron was found lifeless inside his pickup truck.
Oh my goodness, you came to be the superhero and ended up getting slimed. Oh my goodness, Ron, no. Ron, why don't you just say something? Some of y'all out there really not built to be heroes. Remember that. Some of y'all are not built to be heroes. You will get slimed in an instant. You are not Batman. You are regular man. Disturbing mysteries still unsolved today. Video by Visual Venture. Look. Now, what I will say is we have a lot of... Don't y'all have some unsolved mysteries, right? Y'all have some... One of mine is, you know... is Tupac still alive? Of course he's not. Like that whole debacle, what happened with that, right? What's some other mysteries y'all might have? Are silly bands really made out of Johnson rappers? Are they made out of Johnson rappers? We don't know. What else? What really happened in Kobe's death? That's when I really want to know. Someone tell me what really happened. Someone tell me who took Michael Jackson out. These are mysteries that I want to know. Damn, without further ado, since you made it this far and you're here, I need you to subscribe, okay? Subscribe.
She been comment me.
I'm not gonna lie. I accidentally, because I'm live right now, so if y'all are watching this, tap into my lives. I might start going live when I do some reactions in the morning, if y'all want to just come in. But I pressed the wrong button. I was live. We was watching it. So we missed the first one. There's still hella more situations. I don't know how much of that first one we saw. They basically said she passed away. They later arrested. They don't know what happened to her. She was taking cancer treatments. I don't know. I was saying my mom and dad, they threw slurries and slews of tonic water and ginger and garlic and mashed it up and was like, come here, you gonna take this. That was what I said. I said, come here, you gonna take this. And I'm like, I don't want to drink that. They're like, drink it or you're gonna die. You're gonna get COVID. Like, you're gonna get COVID. Whole time they both got COVID and felt the effects. You know what I'm saying? But we move on to the next story.
The secret letters. Circleville was a small, quiet town in Ohio. But one day, people started getting strange letters in the mail. No one knew who sent them, but the writer claimed to know everyone's deepest, darkest secrets. And because of the information in those letters, tensions rose and it ended in tragedy. The anonymous letters started arriving in 1976. They followed the same pattern. Residents opened their mailboxes and found envelopes with no return address. The words inside were written in messy block letters, almost like a child's handwriting. Each letter was filled with accusations.
Received bizarre, threatening letters from someone who somehow knew every salacious detail of their personal lives.
Some letters accused city officials of embezzling money. Others claimed people were violent with their spouses. One letter even accused someone of murder. The writer did not only send letters to the person being accused. They mailed copies to spouses, employers, and even local newspapers.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm out there going, let me see your paper, comparing shit. Hold on, let me see. Nah. He the worst one on the block. For sure, he's the worst one on the block. So let's stay away from this motherfucker. He's crazy. They say he was... No. Touching kids? No, you definitely the worst. You right here. We staying away from this side of the block. You're good now. Well, you might be good. We staying away from this side over here. That's how it's gonna be if I was out there. Imagine being the person out there with the murder paper. You like, oh shit. Everybody's like, let me see yours. Let me see what they write on yours. Yeah, complete lies. Knowing damn well my shit is real.
No one knew how much of it was true, but the accusations were enough to destroy reputations.
The letters cost people their jobs, their marriages, their freedom, and sometimes their lives.
Neighbors suspected each other of spying. Circleville became a tense and paranoid town. Over time, one thing became clear. The writer seemed obsessed with one person. That person received more attention than anyone else. Her name was Mary Gillespie, a local school bus driver. Mary lived with her husband, Ron, and their children. Most people saw her as quiet and devoted to her family. In March 1977, she received a letter accusing her of an affair. The man she was supposedly cheating with was Gordon Massey. He was the school superintendent and technically her boss. The letter warned Mary that if she didn't stop the affair, she'd face dire consequences.
Now you finna be a cheater, plastered everywhere, and be dead. Insane way to go out, Mary.
Mrs. Gillespie, stay away from Massey. Don't lie when questioned about meeting him. I know where you live. I've been observing your house.
Both Mary and Gordon were married. The accusation alone could destroy two families. Mary tried to ignore the letter, but the writer didn't give up. Weeks later, Mary's husband Ron began receiving letters too. They described the alleged affair and urged him to take violent action.
Mr. Gillespie, your wife is seeing Gordon Massey. You should catch them together and them both. He doesn't deserve to live.
Ron confronted
Insane. Is that her? Can't be her.
Mary. She denied the affair and he chose to believe her. But the letters kept coming and the tone became more threatening.
Well, he got letters saying that if he didn't do something about this affair, his life would be in danger.
We know what kind of car you drive. We know where you're.
So I'ma die because I don't want to do nothing about my partner that's cheating on me? Why you care about me? So why you care about my relationship so much? Why you want me to take my anger out? I'm cool. She's cheating. Okay, I'm cool. Now I'ma die because I don't want to kill her. Come on, gang. What type of serial killer is this?
Your kids go to school.
The writer wanted Ron to end the life of the man his wife was allegedly seeing. For months, Ron refused to act. Then came August 19, 1977. That evening, Ron was home with his daughter. He received a phone call. No one knows exactly what was said. After hanging up, Ron told his daughter he knew who was behind the letters. He said he was going to confront the letter writer.
Enraged, he picks up gets in his truck and drives off.
No one knows where Ron went, but an hour later, the town received bad news. Ron was found lifeless inside his pickup truck.
Oh my goodness, you came to be the superhero and ended up getting slimed. Oh my goodness, Ron, no. Ron, why didn't you just say something? Some of y'all out there really not built to be heroes. Remember that. Some of y'all are not built to be heroes. You will get slimed in an instant. You are not Batman. You are regular man.
There were no witnesses, but it looked like Ron's truck slid off the road and rammed into a tree. Tests showed his blood alcohol level was far beyond the legal limit. Authorities ruled the crash an accident, but one detail raised doubts. It had to do with Ron's firearm.
But they found that he had fired one shot out of his... They don't know who he was shooting at or what he was shooting at, but he fired a shot before he crashed.
Ron used his firearm that night, but no one knows at whom or at what. Did Ron confront the letter writer? That question was never answered. But even after Ron's passing, the letters continued. The writer continued accusing Mary of having an affair. One letter was sent to the local newspaper. The situation turned into a public scandal. Then Mary made a confession. She admitted she was in a relationship with Gordon Massey, the man she was accused of cheating with. But Mary said the relationship started after her husband's demise. Maybe she figured the letters would stop after her confession. Instead, the messages became more extreme. The writer accused her of destroying families. One letter even mentioned Mary's daughter.
How's your little girl? Will she grow up to be like you?
Man,
absolutely unhinged thing to
what
say.
a crazy letter.
The writer wrote, "It's your daughter's turn to pay for what you've done." Then
Oh, hell no. He really destroying families. No, this motherfucker's serious. He's real. He's a real street nigga.
in
For
February
real.
9th,
He's on the street putting them in. You think he's giving it to the mailman? Hey, here's this undisclosed, unaddressed mail piece, this letter. No, he's going in and putting it inside the little mail thing. We just need to, whoever lives by the little mailboxes in the neighborhood, just need to watch that box. Whoever go over there like this and do this every single day, it's them. Whoever comes with a big stack of, it's them.
1983, the situation turned deadly. One day, Mary was driving her usual bus route. She noticed a handmade sign on a fence. The sign contained a vulgar message about her daughter. Believing it was from the letter writer, she stopped the bus. She got out and tried to remove the sign. Behind it was a small box. She opened it. Inside was a firearm. The weapon was rigged to fire when the sign was pulled away, but it malfunctioned. If it worked, Mary could have lost her life. She took the box and the weapon to the police.
You know, my mom told me before, she said that will happen when I'm at the gas pump. She said, watch out at the gas pump. You might take it off and somebody put a gun on top. You might shoot you. I said, you tripping. You're tripping. No, it won't. Maybe.
Investigators examined the firearm. They were able to restore the partially filed off serial number. And the weapon was traced back to a man named Paul Freshour. He was Mary's brother-in-law. Paul denied any involvement. Still, he was charged with attempted murder because the weapon belonged to him. He was found guilty and sentenced to 7 to 25 years in prison. Many people believe the case was solved. They thought Paul was the...
Well, we gotta see, did the letter stop? Because if the letter stopped, then guess what? It was this man, and congrats everybody, we caught him. Right? Congrats everybody. If it wasn't him, then it had to be him, because why would he put that there?
Secret letter writer. But even while he was behind bars, the letters kept coming. The writer was still out.
Damn. He got a team. Holy shit. He got a team of people. He got a slew of people out in that bitch.
The letters continued until 1994. Then they suddenly stopped. Nearly 18 years passed since the first letter. To this day, the writer's identity remains unknown, and many questions remain unanswered. This next mystery is about a man who...
So are we able to say he's one of the greatest authors of all time? He's one of the greatest authors of all time,
vanished
right?
without a trace. The man with no memory. A man was missing for 30 years, then he came back. He was wearing the same outfit he had on when he vanished. He looked confused and distant. When his family asked where he was for 30 years, his answer made no sense at all. In 1991, Vasile Gorgos was a 63-year-old man in Romania. He lived on a farm with his family and raised cattle. Every now and then, he would travel for business. That year, he prepared one more trip to another city. He got out of bed, fed his cattle, and went to the train station. He told his family he would return in a day or two. However, Vasile never came back. Given his age, his family grew worried. They reported him missing, but the police weren't able to find any leads. Weeks turned into months, months turned into years, and years turned into decades. Vasile was 63 when he vanished. As time passed, his family...
Being sick, I'm not gonna lie. My dad's older than this man here, right? If my dad said, yo, I'm leaving real quick. I'm gonna be back in a day or two. I'll be back. He didn't come back. Genuinely, in like 2 weeks, he's a grown man, obviously. I think he's done. 62? Yeah, no fucking chance. No fucking chance.
Accepted that he was no more. They began holding a yearly memorial service in his honor. 30 years went by with no answers. Then he returned in the most unexpected way possible. One day in August 2021, a mysterious car pulled up in front of Vasile's old home. No one recognized the vehicle. The back door opened. Someone pushed out an old man. Before anyone could record the license plates, the car sped away. The man left standing there was Vasile Gorgos. He was now 93 years old. When his family saw him, they rushed outside. After 30 years, they were reunited. But everyone had the same question. Where was he for the last 30?
Where was he? I'd be like, is this motherfucker real? I'd be looking, you are not real. You are not real. Is he real? No, I'm checking under his armpits. There's a zipper somewhere. Yeah, I remember that episode of SpongeBob when Patrick like took off his thing and he was actually a gorilla. That's how I would be. I'd be like, nah. Is this person real? I'm not believing that you come back at 90. People don't even make it that long in life. Staying in the house. Where were you at? They pushed his old ass out.
When asked where he had been, Vasile insisted that he was home the entire time. It seemed he had no memory of the last 30 years. Even stranger, he was wearing the same clothes from the day he disappeared. When they checked his pockets, he still had his train ticket from 1991. Both his clothes and his train ticket were in fairly good condition. His family thought he had a medical condition that affected his mind, but doctors found no major health problems.
He was described as being in very good health, aside from some neurological issues.
This is Squid Games-esque. This is the old man from Squid Games. He playing y'all. He's the creator, or he time traveled. One of them.
Which was
They sucked his ass up in the vacuum on accident.
said to be nothing out of the ordinary for his age.
Investigators tried to trigger his memory. They asked about his childhood and adult life, and Vasile remembered a lot.
His memories from before his disappearance were reportedly mostly very clear.
He remembered events from decades earlier, but his memory stopped in 1991. It was as if the last 30 years were erased. Police reopened the case. Their only lead was the mysterious car that dropped them off, but it led nowhere.
And the vehicle sped off before anyone could ask questions or see the driver.
Without new evidence, the investigation stalled.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm being 100% honest. I would have been like, is that him? Is that him? Dead ass, low key, shoved his old ass to the side. Hold up, Grandpa, because this is deeper than you right now. This is deeper than you. I'm doing this for humanity. I'm doing this for humanity. I'm chasing that car down, or I'm getting in my car and I'm like, nah, where they at? Where they at? Because you pushing them. That's why you need people living in the front to be like, you know, on top of that house stuff. We don't play living in the front of the house. You don't play. I'm looking out the window like this every two minutes.
Again, the media picked up the story, and it went viral online. Internet users formed their own theories. Some believed Vasile was used in a secret government experiment. Afterward, they wiped his memory. Another theory claimed he was imprisoned in another country. Others had a more scandalous explanation.
Some speculated that he abandoned his old life to start anew, possibly with a lover, and that he returned home to make amends before his health deteriorated.
But none of the theories explained.
No girl, no woman is making a man do that at 62. No. Because at 62, you start getting realistic with your life. Shit, I'm not making a league no more. I'm 62. Shit, I'm not getting that Urus no more. I'm 62. You not, all right, let me go and chase my, no. You're like, shit. My wife here, you're like 3 out of 10, but she's mine. I'm 62. You just accept it.
One thing, why Vasile was wearing the same outfit and why his train ticket was still in his pocket. After his return, Vasile settled back in with his family. To this day, no one knows where Vasile Gorgos was for 30 years. The man in our next chapter went on a holiday with his friends and was never the same again. The unexplained case of Lars Mattank. In 2014, a German man went on vacation with his friends. 8 days later, he was running through an airport in terror. As he ran, he yelled, "I don't want to die here." But here's the strangest part. No one was chasing him. So what was he running from? That man was 28-year-old Lars Mattank. In June 2014, Lars traveled to Golden Sands Resort in Bulgaria. It was supposed to be a simple holiday with friends. For the first few days, Lars was reportedly in a good mood. Then on the 6th night, things went downhill. Lars separated from the group while they were out. Hours later, he returned with a strange story. He reportedly told his friends that he argued with men at a local bar. After leaving, he was ambushed.
He said that this group of men who he thought were either Russian or locals, so Bulgarians, had attacked him.
Lars believed
Yeah, I'm about to say, Bulgarians, yeah, they're part of like a mafia. They're part of a damn something, right? That's why they probably like them mafias, them in Mexico, the cartels everywhere. Gangs are everywhere. Gangs are everywhere. And they operate differently.
the attackers were
A real militia over the water.
hired by the group in the bar whom he disagreed with. His friends didn't panic. Bar fights happened. They assumed it was just a bad night. The next day, Lars told his friends he visited a local doctor. He wanted to check for injuries. The doctor reportedly found a ruptured eardrum. It was likely caused by the fight. Lars was given an antibiotic to treat it, but that ear injury changed the direction of this story. Lars and his friends were scheduled to fly home to Germany the next day, but the doctor advised Lars not to fly. He warned that a change in cabin air pressure could worsen the ear injury, so Lars stayed behind to recover. All his friends flew home. That was the last time they ever saw Lars, because after they left, his behavior changed completely. Lars checked into another hotel. That evening, he called his mother in Germany. He told her he did not feel safe. He repeated the story about the fight. Then he asked her to cancel his credit cards because he felt someone wanted to rob him. His mother tried to calm him down. After the call, she booked him a new flight for the next day. She hoped that would make him feel better. The the opposite happened.
Later that night and into the early hours of the next morning, surveillance cameras captured Matank pacing the hotel foyer, peering out the windows and seemingly hiding inside an elevator.
So he just had paranoia because, I mean, you just fought somebody. You just fought somebody and now you drugged up. It was only antibiotics, so it's not doing much, but you were just drugged up. It's just paranoia.
Lars looked jittery. A few hours later, he called his mother again. This time, he claimed he was being followed. Then he hung up. Around 6 in the morning, he called once more. He said he was at the airport for his flight. He told her he was glad to be there. His mother felt relieved. At the airport, Lars went to see a doctor for a final check before boarding. That's when the situation spiraled out of control. The doctor cleared him to fly, but something about Lars felt off.
The physician reported that Matank was acting strangely, really nervous and erratic.
Then a man entered the room. Reports are unclear about who that man was, but the moment he saw the man, he panicked. He ran out of the doctor's office, leaving his phone, wallet, and passport behind. CCTV cameras captured Lars sprinting through the airport. Witnesses heard him yell, "I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here." He ran outside, climbed over a fence, and disappeared into a nearby forest. Police searched nearby forests and surrounding streets. They found nothing. Lars was gone. After Lars' disappearance, his family was desperate. His mother filed a missing person report and hired a private investigator.
Imagine the last time you see your son or your friend is on security camera running with bad form. Damn. Insane. Can't go out like that. I feel like he probably saw somebody walk in and he was just so paranoid. He saw somebody that I don't think they would have popped his ass. They wouldn't have slimed him inside the airport hospital medical clinic. I don't think they were doing that if you're leaving. But you never know. How do these places operate? Is Bulgaria pretty dangerous like that? Could be. That could be the case.
Lars' friends were questioned, but different friends offered different accounts, which in turn featured different details. Still, she couldn't find her son. Later, the CCTV footage of Lars running through the airport leaked. Millions watched it. Then the theories began. Some believed he suffered a head injury during the alleged bar fight.
Yeah, maybe.
Theory number 4, Matank had a concussion as a result of that fight. This caused psychosis. This is a possibility.
Others thought Lars wanted to run away and start a new life, so he staged everything.
For that, he planned his own disappearance and simply does not want to be found.
His family strongly rejected that idea. They said Lars loved his life in Germany. There were darker theories too.
It's also been suggested that Matank or his friends were working as drug mules, either voluntarily or forcibly.
But there was no evidence that they were involved in criminal activity. The most popular theory came from Lars's mother. She believed that he experienced a rare side effect from the antibiotic that he was prescribed for his ruptured eardrum. She thought the medication triggered a psychotic episode. She also believed the meds triggered amnesia, meaning Lars could still be alive in Bulgaria. He simply may not remember who he was. The footage of him running still haunts the internet, and the biggest question still lingers. Who was he running from in that airport?
Okay, that was kind of weird though. You run, now you're on the sidewalk, now you just start walking. Like, okay, I'm far enough. I can walk, I'm good. He left everything. I don't know. That is kind of tricky. I think he probably just had psychosis. I think he did have because to rupture your eardrum, really, that means you have to have trauma to your head, right? Trauma to your head also means that you probably had a concussion. You don't have to hit your head to get a concussion. You can get hit in the chest hard enough and have whiplash, you get concussion.
Up next is one of the most baffling events in modern history, and nobody has been able to explain it. The airplane that vanished.
Oh my goodness, this is the Malaysia one. Bro, this helicopter, I was like, I'm never getting on a plane. Y'all heard about that whole plane? A whole plane that just disappeared. Now I'm straight. I'm good. I don't want to go on a plane that can just disappear out of midair. Tracking devices, everything, gone. What? And at the time, somebody was opening airplane doors. You can't breathe. You ever stuck your head outside a car window when it was driving? You can't breathe. Imagine on a plane. Insane.
14, a Boeing 777 disappeared while flying through the air. It was a massive commercial aircraft. Hundreds of people were on board. How does something that large simply vanish? Some called it the deadliest case of aircraft disappearance. But the real mystery wasn't the missing plane. It was what happened on board before it disappeared. The aircraft was Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. On March 8, 2014, it took off with 227 passengers and 12 crew members. It was headed to Beijing, China. The weather was calm. Radar systems were tracking the plane. The pilots were in contact with Malaysian Air Traffic Control.
Malaysian 370, climb flight level 350. Level 350, Malaysian 370.
38 minutes after takeoff, the chaos began. The plane was preparing to enter Vietnamese airspace.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night, Malaysian 370.
Those were the final words from the pilots. Moments later, the plane disappeared from tracking screens. Here's what that means. Commercial planes normally send out a signal to show their location. That signal allows controllers on the ground to monitor and guide the aircraft. On Flight 370, that signal stopped. That likely meant someone on board turned off the tracking system. Airline staff tried calling the plane using satellite phones. No one answered. Authorities grew concerned. They alerted the Malaysian government. Soon after, the military activated its radar systems to search for the plane.
Unlike the radar system employed by air traffic control, long-range military radar does not rely on transponders but use reflectance to track the position of aerial targets.
In simple terms, military radar can detect a plane even if it stops sending signals. And it picked up the aircraft 54 minutes after it vanished, but it was now hundreds of miles off course. Instead of continuing toward...
Okay, so it was the pilot. The pilot hold everybody. Because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm really thinking, I'm like, okay, this, that. The pilot hold everybody. For sure, definitely. Turned it off and was like, I'm about to do something crazy. Because I remember before, they used to try and say it was like, like Bermuda Triangle or something, right? No, nigga turned it off, tried to hold everybody, and he successfully did.
Beijing, it was flying in a completely different direction. That detail became central to the mystery. Planes do not change
unless there was a storm and he couldn't see. Now you flying the wrong way.
Direction without reason. Some believe the plane was hijacked, but no hijacker contacted authorities demanding ransom. Minutes after appearing on military radar, the plane vanished.
Religious hijacking. Religious people don't need money. They need to prove themselves. These religious people that are in psychosis, they don't need, they're not content. They turn everything off. I need to do this. He's sitting in the back like this. Oh shit.
Again, at that point, Malaysia Airlines released a press statement. Flight 370 was officially declared missing. Malaysian authorities launched a large-scale search. They asked other countries for help. About an hour later, satellite data located the plane. And now it was flying over the Indian Ocean. That made the situation far worse. Experts calculated that the plane was almost out of fuel. But the Indian Ocean is the third largest ocean in the world. There was nowhere nearby to refuel. If it kept flying that way, it would likely crash into the ocean. Soon after, the satellites lost contact. The plane was never seen again.
That's some BS. You telling me you found it again, and instead of having fighter jets on standby, like real deal military, to just go over there and see what was going on. It's just, hey, if they keep going that way, they're gonna and then you lose it. Insane. A fighter jet would have caught up to that in like, I don't know. How long can fighter jets fly for? But I'm guessing it would have caught up to it in like 20 minutes. A fighter jet?
Reached the same conclusion.
The seventh arc was indeed the end of the flight, and that it was where the plane had exhausted its fuel.
The plane probably fell into the sea. Ships and helicopters were deployed to scan the ocean. Teams searched for debris and bodies, but they found nothing. As the search continued, investigators tried to figure out what happened inside the aircraft. Experts believe the plane was deliberately rerouted by someone on board. Police did a background check of everyone on the flight, but they found no red flags among the 227 passengers passengers or the 12 crew. Investigators also searched the home of one of the pilots. On his computer, they found flight simulator software which allowed someone to practice flying routes like virtual reality.
They found 8 coordinate points.
Those coordinates on the flight simulator were similar to the direction the real plane went.
He had marked 2 points in the southern Indian Ocean with fuel at 0, and on March 8th, he ended up in the southern Indian Ocean with fuel at 0.
He hold everybody. That's why your parents come in the room and say, you know this shit not real, right? When you playing GTA. This shit is not real. This is not real. This is a video game. You will, if you die in real life, you are not coming back. You can't shoot at the police like that. Someone didn't tell this nigga that.
This proved the pilot planned the hijacking, but that was hard to believe because detectives said the pilot had no history of odd behavior. A year passed without clear answers. Then aircraft wreckage washed up on beaches along East Africa. Some pieces were positively identified as coming from Flight 370. The main wreckage, however, was never found. Malaysia did not give up. They said they were committed to providing closure to the families affected by this tragedy. Over the years, search missions have started and stopped. In December 2025, a new search was announced. Meanwhile, the public came up with wild theories.
CNN issued a survey that indicated that at one point about 9% of Americans actually believed that aliens could have potentially hijacked the plane.
Until
what aliens want with these Malaysian people?
The main wreckage is found, we may never know what truly happened inside that cockpit. Up next is a mystery where the crime is clear, the suspect is known, but the ending doesn't make sense. The perfect hijacking. Many crimes are often dark or violent, but in November 1971, a man committed a crime that was simply impressive. The story began in an Oregon airport in 1971. A mysterious man paid cash for a one-way flight to Seattle. The name on his passport was Dan Cooper.
He's a Caucasian male. He's got on a dark suit, black tie, carrying a briefcase.
In 1970,
that was real deal G.I. Joe. This is real G.I. Joe.
Caucasian male. He's got on a dark suit, black.
This is crazy. Flat top and everything, just like G.I. Joe. This is fire. If I was white, this would be me. I got this one. I got the army cut.
Tie, carrying a briefcase.
In 1971, security checks were minimal, so we boarded the plane without any issues. The trouble began shortly after takeoff. Cooper handed a note to a flight attendant. It read, "I have a bomb in my briefcase, and I want you to sit by me." The attendant stayed calm and followed his instructions. When she sat beside him, he opened the briefcase to prove he wasn't bluffing.
Schaffner describes the contents of the briefcase as something that looks like 8 sticks of dynamite, a battery, and a bunch of wires.
He then gave his demands. He wanted 4 parachutes and $200,000 in $20 bills. That's about $1.7 million in today's money. Cooper wanted the police to deliver the ransom when the plane landed in Seattle. The attendant notified the captain. The captain alerted the ground crew. The FBI was contacted. After discussions, the authorities agreed to cooperate. They gathered the ransom money from a local bank and collected 4 parachutes from a flight school. And it was all done quietly. The other passengers on the flight had no idea they were in danger.
Finally, the plane landed at Seattle-Tacoma Airport at 5:45 p.m. Surrounded by snipers, Cooper had the crew close the window shades.
The ransom and parachutes were handed over. The passengers were released, but Cooper instructed the crew to stay.
Wait. Did I miss something? I zoned out. I'm over here trying to solve it. I'm not even listening.
Flight school. And it was all done quietly. The other passengers on the flight had no idea they were in danger.
Finally, the plane landed at Seattle-Tacoma Airport at 5:45 p.m. Surrounded by snipers, Cooper had the crew close the window shades.
The ransom and parachutes were handed over. The passengers were released, but Cooper instructed the crew to stay on board. They were his hostages. Then Cooper gave new instructions. He wanted them to fly him to Mexico City. The plane took off again. The FBI prepared to arrest him in Mexico City, but Cooper never planned to go that far. Somewhere over the dark forests of the Pacific Northwest, he made his move. He strapped the money around his waist.
He lowered the back stairs and jumped out of a speeding 727, thousands of feet over the Pacific Northwest.
The crew watched as he vanished into the darkness below. The FBI mapped possible landing zones. They searched forests, rivers, and fields, but they found no trace of Cooper, his parachute, or the money. Agent
Insane. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The sky at night, the sea at night. Don't want to be in either of those. The forest at night. Anything at night. Shit, anywhere away from civilization got me. I'm not gonna lie.
Searched the hijacked plane and found a few clues.
They also find Cooper's black clip-on tie and tie clip, some cigarette butts, and 2 of the 4 parachutes.
The clues weren't useful.
In 1971, we don't have fingerprint databases like we do today. We also don't have DNA at this time.
FBI agents interviewed the crew. Using their descriptions, they created a sketch of the hijacker. In the end, they investigated over 800 suspects, but none of them was the hijacker. Agents were frustrated and the case went cold. Then an 8-year-old child brought the mystery back to life. In 1980, a boy was playing along the Columbia River in Vancouver, Washington. Suddenly, he felt something fluffed up in the sand. The boy dug it and found bundles of cash. His parents took the money to the police. When officers checked the serial numbers, they matched the money Cooper jumped with. That meant Cooper lost some or all of the cash after landing. The discovery made the case even more popular. People began hoping they might find some of Cooper's money too. As the years passed, new theories emerged.
Perhaps Cooper didn't survive his jump from the plane.
And they had reasons.
After all, the parachute he used couldn't be steered, his clothing and footwear were unsuitable for a rough landing, and he had jumped into a wooded area at night.
Others had...
Oh yeah, he definitely died then. He definitely died. I'm over here thinking, okay, he definitely
more
died.
extreme ideas. They believed the government arrested Cooper and hid the truth, but nothing could be confirmed. As the story spread, one reporter made a simple mistake. They misread Dan Cooper as D.B. Cooper. The wrong name stuck. The world became obsessed with D.B. Cooper, the hijacker who jumped out of a plane. Soon, other criminals tried to copy him. They would hijack a plane, demand money and parachutes, and then jump out. It rarely ended well. Many were injured, and every single one was caught. Now and then,
absolutely stupid. These people are dumb in the brain, smooth brains for sure.
Someone stepped forward claiming to be Cooper.
Donald Sylvester Murphy and William John Lewis were taken into federal custody on charges of extortion for impersonating Cooper and selling his tell-all story to a tabloid.
To this day, no one knows what happened after D.B. Cooper jumped from that plane. Up next is one of the strangest medical mysteries in history: the disease that paralyzed millions. In the early 1900s, people around the world began freezing in place. A strange illness was turning people into statues. The victims could hear and see everything around them, but they couldn't move a muscle.
Oh yeah, we call this fentanyl. We call this fent. He got that fentanyl, boy. He got that EP. He just real EP. That's when they get EP. I saw somebody nodding off at a gas station like this over the counter. Los Angeles, by the way, like this. The clerk was like, excuse me? You have to get up and pay. Was not hearing none of that, just like this. Absolutely insane.
Doctors had never seen anything like it. The first wave of patients arrived at hospitals in 1917. At first, the illness didn't seem that bad. People just complained of headaches and extreme tiredness. Soon, the tiredness became overwhelming. Victims fell asleep wherever they were. Families tried shaking them awake, but nothing worked. Many remained in that deep sleep until they passed away. Some eventually woke up. They thought they were healed, but they weren't. The worst stage was about to begin. The majority of survivors faced the disease's final phase. They could no longer move, speak, blink, or
what is this called? And where'd it go?
react, but they remained fully aware.
While some had trouble understanding that time had passed, others revealed they were mostly aware of every passing day.
Families described it as watching someone turn into a living statue.
Fully aware of what was going on around them and just unable to get their bodies to talk to their brains.
Some remained frozen for months. Others stayed that way.
Oh my goodness, frozen for months. For months. What are you doing if you walk in a house and your dog is just like this for months? You like, Louie? Week 3, he's still like this. You like, oh yeah, this motherfucker, he's dead. He has to be.
For years. Doctors didn't understand the cause or how it spread, but they knew it was spreading fast. Within months, the disease spread far beyond the first hospitals. Europe, the United States, Central America, and India all reported cases. In 1919, it was a global crisis. To make matters worse, another pandemic was spreading at the same time. Many doctors believed the two were connected.
Some thought that the fact that the epidemic occurred at the same time as the Spanish flu pandemic was too much of a coincidence.
More than 1 million people were infected with the statue disease. Half didn't survive, which is about a 50%.
Watch this statue disease be like the thing about this, like back in the day, is that diseases that you would hear stories like this about, right now they're gonna be like, oh yeah, it was just the common cold. It was a common cold. They just couldn't take it back then. What did they say? Yeah, it was. They had I don't know, dry cough. What? And then niggas are just falling asleep because they don't.
Fatality rate. Then one day, the problem solved itself.
It infected tons of people and then almost completely disappeared.
No cure or vaccine was created. The illness simply vanished. In 1930, there were barely any new cases, but those already infected stayed frozen for years. One patient who became sick at 11 years old stayed frozen for 70 years.
Can you imagine you get home and your dog, you said, bye, I'm going to work, bye. Your dog, you get back, your dog is stuck like this. For 70 years. Your dog living longer than you. You like, Louie, what's going on, Louie? You're not gonna move? Louie. Bro, that's crazy.
Doctors have studied the illness for decades. Even today, no one knows what caused it or how it spread so fast. It remains one of the strangest medical mysteries of the 20th century. Every case on this list has one thing in common. Someone was there one moment and gone the next. No warning, no explanation, just an empty space where a person used to be. So my friends, say what you need to say while you still can. Visual venture.
Hey, W video, visual. Man, let me know what y'all think about any of these. Was I yapping? I try not to yap. You know, y'all know I can talk. A nigga could really sit here and just talk, right? I appreciate y'all if you're here this long. Hype the video, like the video. Let me know what other videos you guys want me to see and react to. Appreciate y'all. Like it to death, boy. I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm gonna see you on the next one. I'm gone.